All right. Okay, it is 9:05. There's not a lot of us on this meeting right now. First things first, I want to welcome you all in the room. If you have already brushed your teeth and washed your face and drunk your coffee or took whatever you need to take, I really want you to just give me your face for a minute on the screen. We got some things, some lessons we're gonna learn, and some behaviors we're gonna reset, and that's really what I'm here to do for you today. But I'm gonna start a little bit early, so some of what I'm gonna say now, and then we're gonna roll into what I'm gonna say later. But one of the first things that we're gonna have to learn in 2023 is how to be present and engaged, and that means that we got to be on the screen because it can send two different messages. It means that I hear you, I may not be listening, or I'm listening and I'm multitasking. But when I need you to be present, I just need to see your face. I just need to see your face for a few minutes. And it's also telling someone that you're willing to sacrifice that moment of time that you had obligated for them anyway. We're going to learn how to re-engage one another in a different way because this, my friends, is the future of our life and work. All right. And we're just resetting what we already know to do. And everybody, unfortunately, doesn't, we've either gotten too comfortable with being names on a screen and doing 10,000 things at once, and we've lost the ability to actually be present in a moment and focus. So I want you to focus. This is the first meeting of the year of 2023 for the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force. And I want you to be as present as you can today, because our goal today, as I understand it, is just to reset you, the way our being, our thoughts, our processes, our habits, and how we show up in 2023 is going to challenge us a little bit more, because now we're in that endemic mindset. And that endemic mindset means that we're going to have to start pulling some things apart and resetting some things so that we can have a way of agreement in how we want to move forward in the year and how we want to show up in our best selves for the people who need us to be present in the moment. We all have it. So if I'm preaching to you, I'm preaching to myself. If I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. I'm only challenging you what I challenge myself to do. And this really, truly is a lot. So one of the things that we do for those of you who are new to our Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force is we introduce ourselves in the chat. So all you need to do in the chat is give us your name, who you're with and representing, and your contact information. So understanding that way we're introducing ourselves in the chat and then we're not going around the horn. We're going to just do that. So if you're new, welcome to the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force meeting month of January, first one of the year. My name is Shellie Willis, and we are here to set presence. We're excited to have you here, and we're hoping that as you take this journey with us, especially if you're new, that you are able to glean something from being a part of this community of practice, and that you're able to network and connect. And hopefully it's a space where you can actually, contribute. And then whatever it is that you receive while you're in this space, you're able to put to action outside of this, which always is a good thing to hear and know. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to Tamar and then I guess to Kelly for the land acknowledgement.
The Tamar Jackson, Frederickson Estates University, Pierce College. Now, if y'all know where that came from, then you'd be laughing because, that's that Keel and Peele right there. So I had to do it like I was in the NFL lineup. But hey, man, welcome everybody. Oh my gosh, January. It's January. And I'm sorry if we threw y'all off and we've having this meeting on the third week of the month. We stressed out about it. Chloe stressed out about it. If you know Chloe, Chloe was stressed out about it. But we had to ask ourselves, why does it matter? Why does it matter? We can do it when we do it because we wanted to do it right. There was a message that needed to be put out there. I had to wait. Shellie was going to bless us. So, hey, I said, hey, we can push it back as far as we can. Who can make it? Who can make it? I'm with it. I love them all still. Great people. I'll see them in March. But today, I had to make sure it was on the 18th. Looking at you guys' face, man, I have been able to talk to a lot of you guys offline. over time. I hope that you guys took the holidays to recenter, regroup. I know I did. I shut down for 3 weeks of the year. It felt great. Didn't do much. I forgot what it felt like not to do anything. So I looked like I was in a robe, and I was that neighbor that just stayed on the front porch and just watched everybody. They didn't know me. They were like, man, what you doing? You home? Yes, I was. I was in my robe and my pajama pants and binge watching Lord of the Rings. So the struggle was real, but I honed out, and I took some growth for myself. Rob, I ain't gonna lie to you. I love that background. All I see is Napoleon Dynamite. I love you. You got that New Year's background, baby. I see you out here looking fresh. Today's gonna be a beautiful day. It's 2023. I know those that have been on this journey for a long time, and welcome the ones that are just starting this journey with us. But if you go back and look at the chapter of the task force, it really started with understanding. We had to work together to understand what we were even trying to do in the first place. Once we took that moment, we defined it, we built collaboration into it, we transitioned in where we were trying to go. But this year, we're about to elevate everything that we do. Shellie had said something earlier, and I remember talking to Lee about it yesterday. I expect this of you because I expect it of me. I expect to be the best. I know that we're the best, so I expect you to feel that you're the best because that's who we are. We've done some incredible things over the last year, but we couldn't do them alone. We've done them with you guys. And my challenge this year is I want to do more with you guys. So I'm gonna start calling it out. Hey, be here, be with us, because we're doing amazing things. Last year, we sent out so many referrals to this community through Collaboration for a Cause. Y'all, we're getting ready to launch our own summit. The task force is getting ready to launch a summit focused around DEAI and the work that we're doing. Major things, Collaboration for a Cause. If y'all don't know, big things are coming that way. I don't want to put too much because I know the team's going to be letting it out, but we got a lot happening. But I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for every one of you that believe in this vision, that believe in this team, because we are all one team. We're only better with each other. None of us can do this by ourselves. And that's why we continuously come back to this spot right here. It's because it's a platform that we can believe in. We can believe in each other. But the biggest thing is we can hold each other accountable and not take offense when we are holding each other accountable. It just happens. So I'm going to kick it over to Kelly B and welcome her to the stage today. She'll be talking later, but we're going to start off with the land acknowledgement. Welcome, everybody. 2023, we back, y'all.
Hi, everybody. How you doing today? I will get us started with our land acknowledgement. So we pay our respect to the elders, both past and present, who have stewarded this land throughout generations. We also express our respect for all other displaced Indigenous peoples who call Pierce County home. These are the original homelands of the Nisqually, Puyallup, Saxon, Steilacoom, and Muckleshoot. It is important to move beyond acknowledgement and reflect on your own history that brought you to this place. This land acknowledgement is one small step in an ongoing commitment to improve our support of Indigenous communities in the area. Thank you. And back to Miss Shellie, I'm pretty sure.
No, it's me. I'm swinging in.
Oh, still
I'm
on
coming,
tomorrow.
I'm coming back, baby. I'm coming back. It's all on me right now. It's all on me. I'm taking advantage because I know when Shellie get in, I ain't gonna be able to say nothing. So you know, I'm just trying to take advantage of where I can right now. So one of the big things that are changing in the new year is we have worked our butt off and calling people. I ain't gonna lie, I've been on the phone calling people that didn't even think I was gonna call them. I was gonna call them. Why? Because I needed them. And this year we have an amazing leadership committee that is coming on board, and they fire. When I talk about fire, they fire. So we're gonna be introducing them more in our newsletter. We're gonna be introducing them more in the next meeting, but I wanna honor them for being in the room right now and welcoming them to the team. Miss Narinda Yancey, Mandy Lee, Dion Lister, Norman Brickhouse, Michael Jordan, Roxy Mango, Jamie, even though she runs with Workforce Central, Jamie Armstrong is amazing. These are some individuals, Miss Christy Williams. I hope you on here because, you know, we had to bring you on board too. We have a powerhouse, but then we also wanted to make sure that the visions we had continue to move forward with the guidance. And so we had some amazing individuals that decided to stay on and stick with the team and help us out as well. Ms. Delia Flores, Garrett Nyland, Krista Perez, Carissa Thompson, Courtney Akoff. I mean, if you heard that lineup, that's an all-star lineup. You know, I don't want to mention me, Shellie, and Kelly, and Chloe, and them. I didn't want to do that. Because, I mean, now you got a Super Bowl team, 54 of them. It's been incredible. It's been a blessing. It's been hard. But they wanted to show up, and we wanted to honor them and what they bring to this team, what they're going to bring to you guys as a unit. A lot of amazing things are going to happen this year. And so blessed that they're going to be running in the background with the rest of this team doing this work. But you know what? It don't mean that y'all don't need to do the work with us as well. We all need to get in and do this work together. So congratulations, welcome this team. You're going to find out more about them. We're going to be launching some big things with them and making it happen. But I just wanted to honor them today, introduce them to you guys, even though you guys already know them. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly Blucher.
Hey, Tamar, before you do that,
Oh.
we have a lot of new people. If you could, for just a moment, take a little bit of time for context for those who've not attended and been a part of this community before, and really break down the why for the leadership team and the purpose of what, you know, what will these individuals be doing? What are their roles? We have quite a few new attendees and they don't have that background. So could you just could you take your time and just kind of break that down? We got plenty of time.
Whew, okay. We got plenty of time. I can take them on a journey, or you want the fast version?
I want the clear, concise version, not necessarily fast, but clear and concise.
Okay, you want me to get to the point. It's cool. I'm gonna get to the point then. So for those newcomers, if I have not met with you guys, I do apologize. Usually there's an onboarding where I could do this in the background. That's why I didn't even get to it, because I assume that I've talked to people. So if I have not, please reach out to me. I'd love to go deeper into what we do. Welcome to the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force, founded back in 2019. Workforce Central, as a workforce development board, recognized that this work was not being done the way that it could be done. And that was through community and collaboration. Most of you guys on this call have something to do within this community. You bring much talent into the work that you do, but it's so much easier when we can actually do this work together, which is collaborating. Every one of us in this room, the community means something to us, but we don't have everything that the community needs. So collaboration is always the biggest key. Holistically, if we take care of our community, we organically build advocates that actually go get the people that we say that we can't find in the first place. That's why this team is so important. When we talk about a leadership committee, that was done, I want to say 3 years ago, when we recognized that we needed some type of structure, so it didn't feel that we were going rogue a lot of the time. So we built a committee together. We worked off of, and I know a lot of you may see Lens of Equity or Collaboration for a Cause or the Speakers Bureau, but the task force was founded on 4 pillars, which was people, policy, practice, or leadership, organizational structure, outreach and engagement, and people in policy, or people in practice, I'm sorry. So if you ever hear Loop City, that's where the acronym came from. It's actually the pillars of the task force. But along the way, we were transitioning. Lens of Equity became the leadership or the organizational structures. The Speakers Bureau became the people's in policy. The the Collaboration for a Cause became outreach and engagement. There were just different pieces that those committees became. So they still sit on our foundation. They're just different groups because of what those groups are actually doing. So the leadership of that group, they're the ones that actually we brainstorm together, we get together, we dial in where we're all together trying to take the task force. Now, the task force isn't its own entity. The task force is powered by, you'll always see powered by Workforce Central. It's powered by them, absolutely, in our team and our leadership. But because of the great work that we all do, again, that's why it says powered by, because they allow us as a unit to continue to do this work in our communities and do it together. But they believe it and they support it, just like many other big leaderships and organizations out here, which allow us to do the work that we do. So when you see Powered By, this is an off-brand arm of Workforce Central. A lot of things happen behind the scenes, which is myself, Kelly, Chloe, Sam, all of us, we're behind the scenes doing amazing things, but our leadership team is there with us as well. They're guiding us, letting us know what they're hearing in the community, what it looks like in the community, and then we continue to build together. So every one of your voices, when I tell you, you guys all have something to bring to the table. That's why your voices are so important. Our leadership team just makes sure that we stay in our structure, because the task force, our mission is to bring economic mobility to Pierce County's individuals and families. So anything that we do within the task force sits with that mission at hand all the time, regardless of what we're doing. If it doesn't align with our mission, we do not do it. Just let everyone know, we are not an army. We don't go out here and fight wars in the community. It ain't what we do. We actually try to strategize together to sustainably build things for the community, to make sure that generations after us still get the same services that we are fighting for our community to get today. That's who we are as a task force, plain and simple. If there are other things that you need from me, I mean, because I have the long story, but I gave you the audiobook, because Shellie told me to hurry up. But we are a good team. Welcome. We are family. Welcome. And we might call you out sometimes. It's okay. That means we welcome you. Remember how people said if they don't talk about you, they don't like you? We will call you in because we like everybody. Welcome again. I'm going to get off because Kelly be getting mad when I get too much airtime. So I'm going to get off and I'm going to go ahead and pass that over to Kelly. See, we call people out because we love them.
That's funny. It's nice to see everyone. I'm gonna gather that we're gonna do a little bit of update, and that's why okay. So I'm multitasking here as I try to get 2 kids ready for school and talk in a meeting. So wish me luck on that one. I'm Kelly Blucher, Community Engagement Coordinator with Workforce Central, and also assist in leading the outreach and engagement group with the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force. So we have quite a few big updates. We just had a really successful event in December. Hopefully, this is my pitch for all of you. If you have not joined the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force group on Facebook, please do so. You can also email me directly. If you need me to shoot an invite to you, I will. I'd really like to utilize that space. And many of you on here are familiar with Kelly's awesome newsletter. Anybody, hands up? Back in the day. We would really like to be able to utilize the Facebook page as a means for all of us to not only like post our flyers, what's going on in the community, but put some updates. And it's also an area where if you have a great idea, something that you think we can work on together collaboratively through workforce development, you know, let's shoot those ideas back and forth. It is a private page for the most part. So let's really use that. Let's fire off some good innovation in that. Collaboration for a Cause in December, if you saw that, was a huge success, even though it was super snowy. That was one of our snowiest days we've had. We did go ahead and hold the event. And with that, we had, I want to say 148 attendees, which was huge. Through those 148 attendees, we had over 2,000 referrals to organizations, partners, employers. We covered basic needs, health, education and training, young adult, and employment. So that was a huge success. We're hearing stories back already. I believe we had 3 families immediately housed within just a few hours after the event. They came here, had been staying in their car. We connected them through a few resources at CFC, and it was just amazing. So literally got 2 families with children out of their car and into shelter after that event. I'm still continuing to hear back from employers and of course our partners as to how many people were hired at jobs. We had tons of applicants. That was amazing. And then a lot of people enrolled in education and training. One thing I do want to share is, if you're familiar with Collaboration for a Cause, you know, we kind of adjusted a little bit on the referral system and allowed people to kind of check their own self-referrals. This was a big deal, and I want to talk about this real quick because I want every organization to be aware. We had partners in there like Rebuilding Hope, who is like sexual trauma survivors, things like that. We had them there. We had several resources on addiction, mental health. Now, these are things that we tend to have at fairs, but with this self-referral system where people didn't have to let everybody know what booth they were going to, I was shocked at the number of people who self-referred into mental health, addiction, trauma, and things like that. And for me, it really showed the importance of what we're doing and making it available for folks so that they can get on their journey and have the help they need. So I thought that was a really huge win of it. We do have our next collaboration for a cause is coming up on March 16th at Pioneer Pavilion in Puyallup. This is
Shellie, can you tell what Collaboration for a Cause is, just so they know?
Oh, yeah. Did I not do that? Collaboration for a Cause is the only mobile one-stop that we know of around the area. So what we do in that is bring together organizations, employers, again, in those 5 different areas, and have an in-person event where people can come in there and get resources, but we also make it accessible by having a self-referral portal. So it's funny, I'm trying to get away from, go get your dog. I'm trying to get away from calling it a resource event, because for me, I believe it's so much more than a resource event, because we're really providing connections. No, get your dog. That's fun. He's just a little dog. Just a little dog. I'm sure you can all tell that. But anyways, our next event is March 16th at Pioneer Pavilion in Puyallup. In collaboration. This is embarrassing. In collaboration with the Puyallup Library, we have a huge space down there. Boeing's going to be doing on-the-spot hiring, which is really unique for this event in particular. They haven't done on-the-spot hiring before, so we're really looking forward to having tons of jobs open for Boeing. We'll be able to have computers there. We're going to do resumes. I'm going to need help from so many of you to make this, just kind of make this successful and really help with the flow of things. But it's set to be a really awesome event. And then I'm not going to announce it quite yet. Some of you know, but we do have some super big, huge plans. Quite honestly, a dream come true for so many of us, coming up in December with October, I'm sorry, with a much, much bigger venue. If you've known me, I've dreamed this for a long time. And so I'll just put it out there in the air. It is coming. So dreams do come true. But that's my update. I'm going to go get these kids ready for school now and let go of this dog who's chewing on my hand. So
Thanks, Kels. See, I love it because you held your composure through all that. That's my girl. Next, we're going to bring on Chloe Carissa. Krista could not be here. She is not feeling well, so the rest of the team is going to be doing what they do. We wish her well, but they're going to give updates on the lens of equity. And I definitely want to make sure to add, if the new leadership of that unit, Norinda or Mandy, have anything to say as well, please step in and update whatever that looks like.
Hey, so I'll jump on first for updates. For new people joining on for the first meeting, welcome. We're happy we could be here. So a little brief background on the Lens of Equity Summit. Well, we have the summit first. First, I'm going to explain the committee. That would make more sense. So we kind of focus on 2 areas at the moment. Our main goal for the Lens of Equity Committee, we focus on empowering organizations and individuals in Pierce County to examine and improve their policies and practices to make sure that they're more equitable and inclusive for all of our community members, because the system is not meant to be intuitive. It's not built that way, and it's not inclusive or accessible in many ways. So we have a lot of those discussions and focus not just on individual work, but also on looking at those systems and structures, and focused on diversity, equity, access, and inclusion. So DEAI. A lot of times we talk about DEI, but we leave out access, we leave out accessibility. And without access, DEI won't work. So we focus on DEAI. It's a really great committee. Yeah, I encourage you to reach out if you're interested. I'll put my contact info in the chat too, so you can reach out. Another thing that we're planning, which is very exciting, is the Lens of Equity Summit. It started in 2021 as a mini series during COVID, and we thought, man, how cool would it be to bring this in person? So we are holding that in person on May 18th at Clover Park General College's McGavitt Conference Center in Lakewood. And again, it's focused on DEAI. There's a lot of questions about, at least for me, I've heard of what can I do in this space? And this summit is going to answer those questions so people can walk away knowing what they're going to do in this work starting tomorrow and having those tangible steps that they can start taking right away, both individually and systemically within their work, within your personal life. There's going to be something for everybody. So we're very excited about that. And a brief update on leadership as well. Krista Perez and Carissa Thompson have been absolutely incredible in being leadership on this group and facilitating everything. And they are going to be moving on to that main leadership team that we mentioned before for 2023. And the amazing and incredibly talented Narinda Rosario Yancey and Mandy Lee are going to be joining us for 2023 and being leadership on this group. I am so excited and so thankful for all of your work that you've put in. You are truly inspiring and amazing. Yeah, you guys have more talent in your pinky fingers than I have my whole body. So you should just know that right now. Yeah, so if you guys want to jump in and introduce yourselves or, give any information, you totally can. There's no pressure. But yeah, it's really exciting. So if you have any interest in joining our group or just learning more, please do not hesitate to reach out. There's a lot of exciting things going on, especially this year.
Thank you, Chloe. I just wanted to jump in real quick and say, absolutely not, Chloe. You have all kinds of talent. And we appreciate you spearheading this with us. You keep us organized, you keep us on track. This is an organization of volunteers, right? And so sometimes we need that a little additional extra support. So appreciate you. And I did speak with Krista earlier on behalf of herself and myself. We are so excited for the new leadership to come in. Anything you need as support, anyone who has not been on one of the committee meetings, I would absolutely encourage you to have a voice in that room. Come join us, come talk to us about some of the challenges that you might have. Together collaboratively as a group, we work together to find solutions for the betterment of our community. And so I'm really excited to see everyone and excited to see the new leadership. So thank you. Thank you for allowing us to serve.
I'm going to say something real quick and Mandy can chime in, but I had to check in with her. I said, Mandy, do you have any remarks to share? And her and I are thinking the same thing, like, what have we gotten ourselves into? And for all the things that have already been said, this group is no joke. This work is no joke. I've seen it done in love and also in laughter. So it's not like it's super intimidating, but maybe just a little bit, right? Because Carissa and Krista, particularly in the committee that Mandy and I are going to be in, this lens of equity, I'll just say one of the reasons why I've joined this work is because I've just been so blown away by this crew, their commitment, the passion, again, the love, the light, the laughter, and it's hard to resist. So we hope that we will do it justice. And I've worked with Mandy before. We've had the privilege of working together at the United Way. Mandy, you feeling good enough to say anything today? I know your voice has been a little bit flaky.
I just have to get real close to the microphone so everybody can hear me.
Anyway, there she is.
Just want to echo what Narinda said, and mainly, there's just so much that's happened, and getting caught up and getting on the same page as everybody else is going to take a little bit of time. So if you could just give us a little bit of grace, at least a week for us to get caught up, please, at least a week. And then we'll be on top of it and we'll help in the best way that we can, which is just being ourselves and leading through authenticity and trust and transparency. And I'm super honored and grateful for this opportunity. So thank you very much for reaching out, Tamar. I know I was late on the deadline, but I appreciate the second chance.
Yeah, what she said. That's why I'm doing it with her. All right. Peace, y'all. Thank you.
Man, If y'all don't know, you better get in, you better tap in. That's some power coming to that. That's some power. They're an amazing group. Again, like Carissa and Narendra mentioned, Mandy as well. This group is about change. It's all about change. It's how we invest in each other to make our community better. We ain't picking, we're just coming together to see what we can do to really just give a space that if you are going through some things, let's talk it out. A lot of times this work is hard. Everyone knows it. It's hard work though, but it's hard. And so to be able to have a group that you can come to and really have these discussions and conversations and know that you're not tackling this by yourself is incredible. If you get an opportunity, please reach out to that leadership, reach out to that team. Trust me, that's where you want to be. It's great work, it's great leadership, and a lot of what they do keeps the rest of this task force focused on where we're getting ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my man, Mr. Samuel Bradshaw, AKA that's my brother right there. Y'all better ask somebody, tap in on that boy. He's about to introduce a new group coming in 2023. Very excited for their launch, which is going to be coming later this quarter. But I want to introduce the man and let you guys know what he has in store for the rest of this unit.
Morning, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to 2023. As my brother said, it's going to be a really big year for everybody, and I'm just really excited to be a part of it with you all. With that comes the official launch of the Small Business Engagement Group, part of the umbrella of the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force. We're going to be tasked with working with local businesses that are owned by BIPOC folks, that are owned by veterans, that are owned by women, and really engaging those businesses and helping them grow, acting as a hub and spoke for all the other great organizations in the county, and really just playing a connection point, right? Giving them a place to ask one another questions and best practices and how they're doing things together on a small level, and also acting as a connecting point to all the other programs and all the other things, whether it's the Puyallup Sumner Chamber, the Tacoma Pierce Chamber, whoever else we're working with here in the county with those businesses, and just helping them really flourish and grow in our county. As you guys, a lot of you guys know, I've worked with you. I came from kind of a small business startup kind of mode and world, and helping organizations grow has really been a passion of mine. And helping them do that from a place of equity and a place of access is really going to be huge for 2023. So with that, we'll be kicking things off in March. We're really excited. We've got our comms team working up a website now. We've got a form for folks to fill out that want to get involved. Several of you have already reached out and want to help with the team to get things put together. I'll be reaching out to you via email and phone call this month to really start those kind of things so that we're really ready to rock and roll for March, when we'll be leading the task force meeting. Super excited about that as well. And yeah, just really excited to get things going. If you have questions, if you want to talk, if you want to be involved, email me. My email's in the chat. Call me. Most of y'all already have my phone number anyway. Shoot a text, whatever works for you. I appreciate you all so very much. We're really, like I said, just excited about 2023 and where the Small Business Engagement Group is going. Peace.
Absolutely, man. I thank you. Thank you. See, for the newcomers, if y'all don't know, we do a lot of things that people don't understand that we're doing, but I hope you're starting to get a better understanding that this whole thing is a holistic approach. It just ain't one piece of the puzzle. We are all pieces to that puzzle. If we come together, then guess what? We get to see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is serving Pierce County's individuals and families, and how we do it best. We do it best while we do it together. We've had some great updates. Again, for anybody that is interested in joining anything, please reach out, let us know. We would love to bring you in. This is a place that is safe. This is an innovative culture. We move together. We don't move apart. There's no wrong answers. There's no wrong ideas. It's just what works. And if it stays under our mission, we do our best to actually make it happen. But do know, if you have an idea, you taking that idea on, and we gonna support you in it. That's what we gonna do. We gonna work together. So there's always room for leadership. There's always room for growth. And there's always room for us to be able to support your vision up under this umbrella. So please don't be afraid to bring ideas that you think can actually help out this community. We're all for it. We're all about it. I've been excited for a long time since Chloe and myself got together and we tried to figure out what was January gonna look like? What is the task force gonna look like? I knew, some of y'all knew, but we had to start it out with an amazing individual who has been a guidance in my life over the last few years. I call her my big sister, but she is an amazing colleague, a human, and an incredible individual in this community. And so when she said what she wanted to talk about was the power of you, there was nobody else but this individual that could actually bring that in a way that is inspiring, cultivating, and just the leadership that she just pushes across us to make us be better. I want to introduce y'all to one of my favorites. You know, I ain't got her picture up in my background. I need to, because, you know, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. But Miss Shellie Willis, come on, man. Hey, let the people know about the power of you. Let them know about it, Shellie.
A whole situation up in here, a whole mess. Boy. Oh my goodness. Do y'all know exactly how much energy it takes to bring energy? Who can say they know how much energy it takes to bring energy? So, you know, when we talk about you know what I'm saying? So like, who in this group is like, when you walk in your office, everyone has an expectation that you're gonna bring the energy that they couldn't actually bring in themselves. Raise your hand, give me a thumbs up, put it in the chat. That's me, Shellie, that's me. I'm the energy, okay? You know, and sometimes some of y'all don't even realize that you are the energy. You're thinking you just coming in there and you waiting on the energy to come in the room too. But actually, you're someone that they actually draw from, right? And you know, we always hear the old adage of, you know, you can't pour from an empty glass, you know, you can't run on an empty gas tank, you don't have this, that, and the third. But one of the things that has really grown true to me over the years, especially since, you know, the pandemic, and now we're in the endemic. You heard me say that earlier, endemic. And the reason why we're using the phrase or the word endemic is because now we have to find a way to live in this new way of life, this new way of work. We have to find a way to be able to adjust and shift. And one of the things that we have to clearly identify with ourselves is that what is our intention in whatever we are going to do? So I asked Chloe to create some breakout rooms, because the first thing I want you all to do before we get to the breakout room is in the chat. I know some of y'all did this, if not all of y'all, and sometimes you just do it because you need to level set and you need a direction, you need a focus, you need something that's going to drive you. What was your word or your phrase for the year? Go on and blow up the chat. Go on and put it in the chat. What was your word or phrase for the year? And if you don't do that kind of stuff, say, Shellie, I didn't even bother. Just say, Shellie, I didn't even bother. Oh my God, Mandy. I'm gonna come back to that, Mandy. Chloe, if you see Mandy's comment, I'm gonna need you to hold that comment. We're gonna bring that back up. Okay, no matter what, speak out. Discipline is self-love, elevation, all right? All right. Thank you, Kendra. Progress, whatever it takes. Love it, love it, love it. That sounds like a no matter what. Innovate. Okay. Intention, discipline. Heard that again. Bring the joy. All right. Bring the joy, Mandy. For somebody who they say depress them. Okay. Bring the joy. Growing pains. All right. Rise. All right. It's done.
I can't type in the chat because my computer's down. So I would.
What is it, Jamie? Okay, Jamie's having some trouble, but we're gonna get it from her. I like that one. It's done. All right, come on now. All right. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Okay, there's about 37 people in this meeting. I'm gonna need some more. Make it about you. Just don't forget about we. Okay. Oh, okay. Is that Mr. Arthur Dennis? Is that Mr. Arthur Dennis? Is that who that is? Okay. Don't forget about the we. All right. Yes. Okay. Elevate. All right. Humanity and humor. Okay. Okay. put mine in there while I'm asking y'all.
The power of no. I see you,
Okay.
Carissa.
All right. All right. Love it. Thank y'all for sharing. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. Now, in all reality, I'm going to ask this question again. Okay, Mandy, you said for clarification, not hearing my voice was depressing to that person. Okay, so in other words, Mandy, you're a force, you're an energy source, and they need your voice. Okay, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. So in order for us to do any of the things that we said we want to do, even to include using our word as our driver for the year of 2023, and that may change 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, or you may build on that word. It might become an action phrase for you. I want you to think about it from this perspective. I live in a space where personal growth and development has to happen for me in order for that to translate over to anything that I'm doing. So I always start with me. I'm always thinking about what I need to do so that I can be my best self. How do I show up in my best light? How do I bring it forth? And guess what? It doesn't mean that I'm going to be singing and dancing for you all the time. It doesn't mean I'm going to be happy for you all the time. What I want you to know how to do is how to do that for yourself. Because sometimes those of us who seem to be the source for everybody else, we need to understand how we have to set ourselves up so that we could be our own source first. That doesn't mean drinking your cup of coffee. It could mean meditating and praying. It could mean going and working out at 5 a.m. at the gym. It could mean a lot of things that you need to do so that you're really doing it for you. But what you're not realizing is indirectly you're infectious and you're causing everyone around you to receive that good energy. But you also want to teach others how to create that energy for themselves. You don't want to be an enabler either, meaning that when you're not talking, when you're not doing whatever you love to naturally do, it shouldn't take away from the space, the energy in the space. People need to learn how to do that for themselves. We done went through a whole pandemic where we were locked down. Folks if you on this side of the pandemic and you still walking, talking, living and breathing, then you just need to give yourself a hallelujah, thank you, amen, because a lot of us aren't here. So this gift of time, this blessing, the space that we're in, how do we want to use it in 2023? The reason why I asked you for your word or your phrase or whatever is because this is something that you need to take and you need to put on a sticky note everywhere your eyes will fall. So on your mirror in the bathroom, on your computer in your office, in your home office, where you work, in your purse, in your book bag, on a book. Make it a habit to keep that top of mind, because then it'll keep you mindful for what the seeds you're trying to plant. So let's talk about finding your seed. When we think about finding your seed, it's that personal thing that you want to work on, that you know that if you could just plant this one seed, it's going to help a lot of things in you grow. Growth is continuous. And just like time, it is going to continue until it doesn't, right? So think about, what is the seed in me I want to plant that I know I need to grow? I want you to take a few minutes and think about that. It's a personal seed for you that you know you want to grow. I need to find my seed. You gave me your word. What is your seed that you want to plant that you know you need to grow? It could be something you've continuously worked on and you just haven't been able to break through yet. But whatever it is, write that down right now. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to have Chloe put us in breakout rooms. And in that room, you're going to talk about what your seed, what you named your seed, because we got to call it out, right? And talk about why you selected that as your seed, right? The thing that you need to work on, that you need to plant and you need to grow for you. So I want you to take a few moments. Chloe's going to put us in breakout rooms. We're going to go in those rooms for about 10 minutes, Chloe. So if we put them in now, we'll come back at 10 o'clock, and that should give everyone ample time to not only think about personally, what is my personal seed I need to plant so that I can grow me? Why? Right? Why? And discuss that amongst everyone in the group if you are okay with that. So Chloe, can we go ahead and do that and create and send everybody into a breakout room?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can. Although I think that co-hosts for the meeting are going to be staying here. So
That's okay.
okay, I'm gonna break everybody out into 6 breakout rooms. That should be about 5 or 6 people
And
per
we'll come
room.
back
So
at 10 o'clock.
I'm gonna stay with you guys. This is Deborah.
Okay. And I'll write it in the chat so you see it. All right. What else do we have left that needs a room? Stephanie, Yvette. All right. Okay, y'all. Yvette's in here. She's staying here with us. All right, y'all, let's talk. Who wants to share their personal seed?
Mm.
A little deep. It's a little deep.
Professional or personal?
Personal. This is a personal thing. Because everything else outside of what you're working on for you is going to be indirectly impacted, but everything starts here. So what's a personal seed you want to plant and grow and work on?
gosh, well, I'll jump in first.
Mhm.
Well, earlier we were just talking about energy that we bring, and what that is like. And I feel like I can bring more energy. So I feel like if there's something in 2023, I want to show up more in that space, and not in terms of like giving too much to the point where you have burnout, but just increasing that a little bit, pushing myself more out of my comfort zone a little bit.
Mhm.
As an introvert, as a huge introvert, it's not something that comes naturally. So I'm
Mhm.
not going to try to like change myself in that way, but I feel like I could go further.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. I like that. Right. But make sure you write it down. What seed do I want to plant? And it sounds like you're saying I want to expand my energy more often.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Anybody else?
My kids. I mean,
Your kids?
I mean, they're adults now, but I need them to see how I'm leaning into the world and how I'm leaning into them,
Mhm.
and take something from that makes sense before, before I leave this world. And that's really important to me. I'm like Chloe, I'm a quiet one, and but when I need to get out in public, I can be a different person, and that really isn't a problem. Because quite frankly, there's different characters to me
Mhm.
that sometimes people are shocked to see, but those that know me know it's there. So
Mhm.
it's just, what is their, I'm curious about what their journey is going to look like, and help them with their journey. That's important to me.
Okay. So I hear you saying relationship with your family,
Mhm.
your kids. Okay. Anybody else?
I would say for mine, I think really just the plan of or the planting the seed of intimacy for me, allowing myself to indulge more into what's happening around the closeness of me, and
Mhm.
making sure that I'm giving space to actually listen to what's going on, and figuring out ways to elevate through, you know, personal growth and integration between that relationship building, you know, recognizing that each of those relationships are a different piece of my life. I think, you know, I really focused on this year was like, man, you know, I'm going to focus on me. And, you know, usually focusing on me meant I was going to shut out the world. And now I understand that focusing on me means focusing on those that are around me, because they give me that energy to continue to move. So really just the seed of intimacy and making sure that those that are around me are truly there for me, and I'm okay with letting them in to actually elevate me more and support me in what I need when I say energy.
That's excellent. I love it. Yvette, Kelly, Megan? Anybody want to share?
What they do, go to 7-Eleven? They
I
don't
don't
turn the
know.
screen off and went to 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would just say for me, my seed, my personal seed is presence, but it's not about presence for others, it's presence for me. It's important that I am present for me. And what that looks like and how I'm going to nurture that will be what we'll talk about next. But presence is the seed I want to plant. And it'll be something that you'll hear me not just talk about, but it'll be something that you will hear me demand. And if I'm demanding it, it's my way of exercising how important it is to myself, right? So if I'm demanding presence, it means that I haven't necessarily nurtured that completely. What does it take for me to give my complete and total attention to anything that isn't necessarily obligatory, something that's going to provide an outcome for me? What does it mean to be present? And present for myself means just paying attention to what almost took me out in 2020, which was paying attention to my mind and my body. Paying attention to my mind and my body. So that's my seed that I'm planting.
And with the clarity on that, Shellie, just out of curiosity, I know you say presence. What does that look like for someone that has always looked at you at being present?
Because I am present for others. But what I want to do is be more present for myself.
Absolutely.
So what that means for me is I've intentionally set boundaries for myself. I say no to a lot of stuff.
Gotcha.
I love you guys, but I just need you to understand that I've been running these streets for the last 3 days. I'm staying in the house, you know, or if I got one event on Saturday and you trying to get me to go somewhere on Sunday, I can't come because I was out the house on Saturday.
Gotcha.
In the house on Sunday. And it's the way that I'm able to recoup my energy and reset my mind. And so if people love you or they know you, meaning knowing you and having relationship with you, then they understand, right? So I have someone in my life who will say, okay, Shellie, she'll be like, what do you have going on this year that's really important that you would like me to be at? So I gave her 3 different things across the year. Great, I got those on my calendar. Don't ask me for nothing else. Got it.
And nothing wrong with that. It's okay. They reached out, you gave them what they asked you.
Yes, yes. And so those are the things. All right, so we're about to come back in, closing all the rooms, getting ready to log out. They get a countdown for closing the rooms. They getting their countdown, Chloe, I just did it for us. And then we're gonna come back in. They coming back in. That was good. That was a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I like that.
You know, we tend to not often think or give space for those kind of conversations. Not in the workplace anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which was good though. It made you think about it.
Yeah, but we have to look at relationships differently now in this endemic world we living in.
Absolutely.
Hey, Miss Kendra Moore, how are you?
Little K Moore, what's good, Kendra?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
good, doing good. Getting everybody
Yeah.
back in here.
Right.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Likewise.
All right. We are coming back in the room. It's like Shellie, it's Wednesday. This is way too deep. Gotta talk about seeds, gotta talk about myself. I gotta talk about myself. So you know what's next. I'm gonna ask you to share. Now we're only gonna go over two more things, a couple more things, but we had to start here. You have to start with your foundation, like your reset, your level set. So who wants to share with me their seed and why?
Shellie, real quick,
Mhm.
did you notice all the screens is on?
Yep, I wasn't saying nothing. I was just gonna keep on moving. I was gonna just keep on moving. Thank
All
you.
the people's on the screens.
I was just receiving it. All right now, so throw your hand up. I don't know if we can, I'm gonna put it on participants so I can see Kendra threw her hand up. So who wants, Kendra, I'll let you go first, and then I'm watching to see whose hands go up, and then I'll call you a Kendra, then Carissa. What is your seed and why did you pick that seed?
So mine was self-love. Again, especially in the work that we do, and then, raising two boys, I think it's important to understand, what I need and my wants. So just something as like getting a YMCA membership and just getting up at 5:30 to go work out, like, as I thank you. As I mentioned to the group, just started that this morning, but tagging along, my 15-year-old with me. So he was able to get a workout in before school. So, and that just feels good. A lot of times I just forget about myself. And I feel that, again, I can't love others or help others if I can't love and help myself. So that's my seed.
Love it, love it. Carissa, thank you for sharing.
Yes, so mine is similar to intentionally and keyword consistently placing myself first. I have a really hard time doing that. And so I think a lot of people on the screen probably have a really tough time doing that, but really getting up in the morning and setting my intentionalities for the rest of the day and having it focused, finding a way for it to focus on what things are important to me. I was having a conversation with Krista the other day, and I want to share this gem with everyone because it was like such a great visual. But if you imagine having to juggle all these different balls, right? Some of them are plastic and some of them are glass. And there's a few of them that are glass that are like my most important things. Whenever I'm navigating life and I'm juggling all these balls, I have to ensure that those glass ones are not being dropped. The plastic ones, if they get dropped, then, maybe that's something a later time in my life that I can pick back up and do something with. But the ones that are glass are ones you got to hold close. And so, again, really setting intentionality around what are those glass balls and how do I make sure that they're being put first.
Thank you so much that is awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right, I see Sandra next, and then after Sandra, Jamie, and after Jamie, Stephanie Love.
Awesome. So my word was alignment, and I'm going to give a shout out to Shellie because no matter how, I'll say mature, not old I am, Shellie came into my life and I have been able to witness what true alignment is. And that's something that I have struggled with, wanting to try to be all things to all people, but she's teaching me and helping me to understand that if it is not in alignment with who I am, with what my goals are, right, it's okay to not do those things, right? And she's like, I'm amazed at how she does that so well. So I'm continuing to learn. I'm a student of Shellie Willis. I will say that, but alignment is what it is.
All right, thank you, thank you. All right, Miss Jamie. Jamie is next, then after Jamie, Stephanie Love. There's no
Hello.
limit. Everybody gonna share at some point. So come on, get on this train.
First, I really want to say I appreciate the opportunity to just sort of sit about and think about what 2023 is going to be for me. And I feel really honored that I have this group of people who is going to help me be accountable. I am going through a very difficult time. My mom was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer last year. So I've been walking her final journey with her. We hit a year mark this November. So she's getting closer. And my word is endurance or balance. I'm really, really good at showing up for everybody else. I'm really good at making sure that everything gets done. And, you know, I ask, what do they need? How can I help? Who are they? And I need to put my own name on that list, right? Because if I'm not taking care of me and there isn't some balance, then I'm not going to be able to help any of the people who are relying on me, whether it's the community or my team or my family. And so I'm going for grace, I'm going for balance, and I'm just really trying to incorporate myself into the conversation about sort of what has to happen at any given moment. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Jamie, and thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you so much. Stephanie Love.
Yeah, so I think that our group kind of agreed on this a bit, but I chose discipline as my seed. And I was reading a really interesting article on Martin Luther King Jr. Day about how discipline is really the ultimate self-love, because you are delaying immediate pleasures in order to gain long-term success or health. And now that I have a baby, I'm very serious about my long-term health because I want to be around for her. And I've seen a lot of women in my family who are Black women succumb to heart disease and things that are really caused by our environment and our stress levels. So this year I really want to keep discipline on top of my mind. And I think that discipline also brings you closer to God, and that's important for my spirituality. So yes.
Thank you so much for sharing. We have Mandy and then we have Kimberly Dunn. So Mandy.
Yeah. Sorry, you'll have to listen to my squeaky voice. But for me, my seed is respecting my own boundaries. I set boundaries for myself, not for anyone else, and I need to respect those. And part of the reason I need to do that is because I know Tamar might not agree 100% with this, but I cannot bring 100% of myself to my job every single day. I only have 100% to give, period. And I need to save 50% of my job for myself and my family. So I can only bring like 50% maybe every day. And if I've made allowances and exceptions to my boundaries, that's reduced the 50% that I can bring to my job every day because I'm taking on the emotional burden of everybody else.
Wow.
I need to reset and respect my own boundaries so that I can maintain my own peace in every aspect of every day.
Wow.
And I do agree with you. I had to learn that. Shellie knows it. Carissa knows it. Kelly knows it. I had to learn that our families are the only ones that are not compensated for this work that we do. So trust me, I do understand we don't have it all to give. Thank you so much for highlighting that.
I love that. I love that you don't think about, you wake up with the 100%, but you got to figure out how you're going to disperse that 100% and who gets how much and what. And then whoever gets the leftovers, well, that may not be your best self. I love that. So you get to delegate or designate where that energy goes. Thank you so much. Ms. Kimberly Dunn, what's your seed and why? I see you, Phyllis, you're next.
You know, my seed is being fearless. That's my seed. I'm going to read the scripture, 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. There's a lot of, not to Christianize anyone, but a lot of times fear drives us, and it keeps us from the love that can permeate around us. We need love for the energy. As you were just speaking, Miss Shellie, when you said, Mandy, your voice pushes out this kind of energy, and in the work that we do, we cannot have fear. We can't have fear for taking care of ourselves, for pulling back when we're so immersed into the environment of the work that we do. We just cannot have fear of just saying, no, stop. We can't have fear to ask. Big ask for money from the government. We cannot have fear. And so here are the things that this is it for me. I'm going to get it done in 2023.
And what I love about what you just said is, especially getting it done doesn't mean perfection. It's not about perfection. Getting it done is whatever your measure is for what done is, not somebody else's, but your own personal measure for what done looks like for you. Is that correct? Okay, all right. All right, Ms. Phyllis, how are you doing? Share with us, what's your seed and why?
Good morning. I have a lifelong passion for learning. Whoops, there we go. I have a lifelong passion for learning, but I never really thought about how I was putting that into play. So this year, my seed, I mean, you guys have all taught me for the last 3 years or so how important this humanitarian issue is. And it's super important to me because it comes from my heart. What my seed for this year is going to be education with compassion. And that's to pass on what I'm learning. You know, this is not a children's level. This is an adult level that you know, things we weren't taught in school. You know, that kind of realigns really well with the task force I'm on with the lens of equity, and as we're working for putting our summit together, and I'm super excited about that. Don't anybody miss it. The other thing is it's also aligning what I'm pushing for at work. And you know, we're trying to get a real mix of employees to understand where we're going. My employer is super involved with this issue, and so, you know, there's no excuse for us not to be teaching. So one of the things I asked for this year is on all the holidays that we celebrate, Martin Luther King Day, Black History Month, is not just to have a potluck and celebrate. Let's talk about how this came to be. Let's talk about the struggles that were in place. And you know, we started out with Martin Luther King, and it was we had a couple of videos and stuff that we showed on Teams and shared with company-wide. It was incredibly informative. And that's where I'd like to go. I'd like people to understand the compassion behind how we need to treat people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got the things that resonated with me with what you said is sharing our knowledge through storytelling with compassion. It's kind of what I synthesized out of what you said. Wanting to be able to be more intentional about that work. So you have the seed, right? How many of you have green thumbs? I'm gonna put my hand down because I don't. I can't grow the air. I can barely grow the air. I mean, like if the air was all I breathe, y'all. Okay. For those of y'all that have green thumbs, go on, throw your thumb up. See, Miss Kimberly, you ain't got to show out. I ain't need to see your plant. You ain't gonna make me feel bad. No, ma'am. All right. So if you've ever planted a garden, if you've ever done any of that, so you've got your seed. So the thing that we have to do is we got to go out there and break that ground. You've got your seed. When you want to plant that seed so that that seed can grow, that means that you've got to break up the ground. Now, this is figurative, right? And so when you talk about breaking up the ground, and leveling it out. It's, you know, it's important for you to understand what the size and circumference of that space is going to be. And you also have to understand what you need to install so that you can nurture that seed that you said you wanted to plant, that you said you wanted to grow. And in order for all of that to happen, you need to make sure that you have a irrigation system. You need to know what type of nutrients the soil needs. And the biggest thing, most important thing is what area you want to use. So we think about figuratively, think about the ground you've got to break up in order for you to plant the seed. What are some things that have to be broken in you so that you can grow in that area with the seed you said you wanted to plant? What are some things that have to be broken in you? You're the ground, you already declared the seed, so that you can plant that seed so that it can grow. We haven't even gotten to what you need to nurture it, because we got to break up some things first so you can plant it. Think about that for a minute. I'm gonna let you sit on that in silence for a couple of minutes. Maybe not. And I'm gonna start calling on some folks, so be ready. And it won't be none of the people that have already courageously shared. So just know it could be you. You could be next. I want you to share as much as you're willing to the ground you need to break up so that you can have that good soil that's been toiled and turned to plant the seed that you say you want to grow personally. I'm going to start with Rob, only because I love the look, Rob. You are giving me, like, that's one of my favorite movies. Yes. Come on, Rob, share.
This is great. I'm Rob. I'm with the Conservation District, folks who I haven't met. And the seed that I had was about making sure that my programming is a lot more accessible to community members. And specifically, we haven't had as much participation from folks who identify as like Latino and Hispanic, or the Asian American and Pacific Islander community. So like the ground that I need to break up is really just like changing the way that we do things at my work, and like being more intentional with outreach, thinking through some of the systemic barriers that we might have. You know, like right now, all of our programming is in English. I think that's a pretty big barrier for those folks that we want to be engaging. So it's a lot of just like shaking the tree, to continue gardening metaphors, and just trying to encourage folks who are above me in my job to be willing to do things a little bit different, and to try out some new things to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then we'll reassess in the future.
So if I hear you right, Rob, you need to break up the ground of courage so that you, regardless of your position and place in your organization, can be the example and model behavior to change the way you do things. Is that right?
I love what you heard, Shellie.
I'll send you my invoice later.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Mr. Arthur Dennis, just because I love seeing you and I haven't seen you, sir, what is the ground you need to break up so that your personal seed that you want to plant can grow?
I was contemplating that. I mean, you know, it's tough, man, in terms of building strong human-centered relationships in Pierce County to kind of close gaps. I know Leah was speaking earlier about the current investments that are promoting disproportionality of resources in other zip codes that are kind of like adversely impact. So when you kind of think about that, that's the work, right? But kind of building those relationships take time. And then the previous person that spoke before that pretty much said that, you know, I can't give this job 24 hours of my life. I can't. So it really comes back down to organization. How do you organize yourself? But then at the same time, how do you balance what's coming at you on a daily basis? You know what the goals are. You know what you want to do. But here comes this email. Here comes that email. Here comes this signature for that, this and that. So it's pretty tough, man. Shellie, I love you. You know, you got you come with the serious energy. You keeping us together, unified. And look, I ain't gonna go long on this. I don't have a response right away. I'm still contemplating on what are those seeds I need to break up to get to my objective. Thank you so much for calling on me. Appreciate
So
you.
I'm gonna tell you what I heard. There is labor in your love. So going back to what Miss Kimberly Dunn talked about in the scripture she read, and it's just not to bring that part in, but just to understand the greatest of all these things is love, our love and our passion for what we do. But we know that we can't give all of that all day, every day to just work. We've got to understand how to create. We've heard the word boundary. Do you know that in elementary school, they're teaching children what they didn't teach us? I'm a Gen Xer. Got it. I'm a Gen Xer. No one taught me in school how to self-manage my emotions, my words, and how to set boundaries. I don't even know what the world is going to look like, but these children in elementary school are already learning how to establish an emotional IQ. We didn't start learning emotional IQ until we got older, and it became a buzzword in a leadership or organizational culture. It became a part of the construct. So when I'm listening to all of you speak, it's interesting how you still wind up connecting what I'm asking you personally you need to do to your professional space. You can't even be selfish enough in this moment to talk about your personal growth and development. Is everybody hearing it? Am I the only one that's missing it?
Nope, not at all.
Like,
Ooh, she
I
got deep.
literally started with the personal. I said personal growth and development. Do you see how much investment we have given everything else? In the one moment in time, I have used keywords this entire time, from the time this meeting started. I have talked about presence. I didn't define what that meant. Present. I asked you what your personal seed is. And a couple of you got it and you're giving it to me, but we tippy-toe it over into that little professional piece. Because when we think that the sum of our parts roll over in all of everything that we have, this is what our calling is, or this is what, no, it's not. You're more than this box on this screen. You're more than what you are at that office. There's other parts of you that you need to tap into so that everything else outside of that can be nurtured and grow. Did you know that if you really set yourself apart and got the proper tools, there's so many tools you can use in gardening, right? For my gardeners, for my people who know how to grow stuff, right? You know, or you grew up on a farm, or you was in farmland, you was in rural, wherever. You know all the tools, the tractors, the tape, the hand tools, all the things, right? We got all these different tools that we have at our disposal to use on the ground that we need to break up, to use on the ground for the soil that we need to turn over. The soil's got to be worked so that when we plant the seed that we said we wanted to plant, it'll grow. We've got to create some type of system so that whatever it is we need to grow, it grows. We got to water it. We got to make sure it gets direct or indirect sunlight, all the things. Come on now. And thank you, Daniel laughing at me, but and I'm coming for you, Daniel, because I've been looking at you and Stephanie Patterson, I'm coming. But, and we can borrow tools that we're missing. Thank you, Jamie. Because I don't want to talk about work with you after 5 o'clock. I'm done. I'm done. I want to know what you got going on that you need support for that don't have nothing to do with work. And the minute you cross that line and you start talking about work again, I'm paying for the bill and I'm out. We don't have nothing else to talk about.
Okay, I want to go.
Okay, all right, come on, ma'am. Come on now. Okay, it's
All right.
resonating. Yes.
All
okay.
right. So you get into my personal here. I want to accomplish this 10 pounds. I know that sounds crazy. I'm not going to tell you which way it's going, up or down, but I want to accomplish it. You know, I want to eat healthier and less. And I want to make sure that I leave this office at 4:30 and I get here at 8 or after and that while I'm here, I enjoy more. I want to laugh more, love more, live more. You know what I mean? This year is the year. That's it.
I love it. Now that's what I'm talking about. So what you just did for us is you created the boundary, the before, what you want to do, so you can come in and you're going to give the 45, 50%, maybe 35%. I don't know. But you're going to give it what you're going to give it from that time to that time. You created clear boundaries. And then when you leave, you want to leave just as joyful or happy as you came in, feeling as though you accomplished something. Meanwhile, when it comes to that 10 pounds, glory. It'll go wherever or it'll stay. But we get it. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, where are you at, Daniel? Come on, talk to us.
Yeah, I mean, some of y'all know on this call, I'm going through some shit, and it's real. The personal is real, and I try to keep it off to the side and just focus on work, and that's the safe place, right? Is to just focus on work. So what's the ground I got to break? I got to break ground I've never been through before, if I want to get someplace I've never been, right? So I've got to, I really got to work somewhere I've never been, and really cultivate and till that soil if I want to be somewhere else. So without trying to say too much, or divulge too much. That's kind of where I'm at with with what I got to break and what I got to till and cultivate. So
yeah, I thank you for sharing that, and you bring up a great point. You got to do something different. What's the definition of insanity? And the other thing to what you just said too that's really key is we think that if we dive into our entrepreneurial journey, our social organizations, our volunteerism, our work, that everything over here will go away. You're literally sitting up here like killing yourself slowly, because guess what's still waiting on you after you done spent 10 hours somewhere?
Not going away.
Not going away. So investing that time in that seed, breaking up that soil, that ground, leveling things out, making sure that you get rid of all the debris around it so that you have a clean space of which to grow it, and invest with all the tools that you have at your disposal, or even tools you need to borrow, will help that side of you. Because one of the things I learned when I transitioned out of the military, after 25 years, nobody prepared me for anything outside of that other than career and finding a job. There's nothing like hitting an invisible wall no one prepares you for. You don't see it coming. But one of the things you're good at is you're good at keep going. You got that keep going disease. I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna just keep going until one day, when you're not even expecting it, your mind and your body shut down. Because what you didn't do was address the personal grieving when you had to leave something. The personal grief is not just synonymous with death. Anything that you got to leave that you've loved for a long time, anything you have to walk away from, there is a grieving process. And it is so important that you look at what those stages of grief are. Because then that's going to help you clearly identify what the real seed is that you need to plant so your personal growth can flourish, so that you can show up at your best in all of the other areas outside of the you space, so that you can clearly understand how to nurture it, so that you understand that when you know what the seed is, you've cleared the landscape environment, you've broken up the ground, and you identify and you're honest about what you need to do to nourish it so that it can grow. It creates accountability for yourself, meaning that you go from wanting just friendships to wanting what I call accountability ships. People who out of love are going to just keep you on track. So how many of you have a board of trustees? You have your accountability team. People who don't tell you what you want to hear, they ain't lying to you like these people over here. They just gonna tell you what you want to hear. You know, you're their source and you're their force. But these people, they will literally bring a mirror and ask you to look at yourself. This is the mirror, look at you. They'll pick you up, dust you off. I always tell anyone who's around me, you got 5 minutes. Now that 5 minutes might last a week, but you got 5 minutes. Let me know when that's over, and then let's get busy. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. People who really know me know what that means, and they also understand. It might resonate with you. I'm the person that's gonna give you 5 minutes. When you're done, we're gonna dust it off, shake it off, and now we gotta create a plan for what's your next move. How are we gonna come out of it? What are we going to do? If you don't have people like that around you, those are usually the people also that you attack first. When you think about it, you come at them hard, right? But they love you, so they're gonna always keep you accountable. So I want you all to think about those accountability relationships that you really need going forward. What does the future of work and life look like? What do we really want to do with our relationships so that we can ensure that our personal growth, the seed we said we wanted to plant, the ground we said we wanted to break up, how we're going to nourish it, and how are we going to be able to create accountability around what we're going to do, what we need to do in order to, as Daniel said, do something different. That means we have to be different. We have to own what we weren't doing, and then we have to figure out how we can grow into what different looks like for us. Not for anybody else's measure of success or anybody else's desires for us. What's going to let you sleep at night and have you wake up in joy in the morning. That individual is their own source and resource. That individual is modeling behavior. That individual is someone that can teach other people how to be their own source and their own force so that they don't become reliant on you when you're not in the room. They know how to generate that energy for themselves. They get excitement. It's great to just kind of like exchange energy and do all of that, which is why going forward in the future, presence is power. It all starts with you. So I thank you so much for your time. I hope that you got something out of this. I hope that it helps you reset intention for the year. I hope that it generates thought about maybe restructuring some things. I hope that some of y'all go back through your calendars and cancel some plans and say, oh, I can't go, you know? And I hope that you love yourself enough to know that it's okay to not be present for everybody else if you can't be present for you. We need the best version of you to do what we need to do. Love you. And that's all I got for the people. That's all I have.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Man, look, okay. I told y'all I had some in the cannon ready to blow out in January for y'all, man. She did exactly what we all talked about and what we should all think about. This space was created not for professionalism. It was created for you to be who you are and who you need to be while surrounding yourself with people on the same journey. I think at times we sit and we, as humans, as Shellie said, we focus on what we know best, and that is our career. Our career identifies us. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because our careers only have us from 9 to 5. That's it. Can I talk to you from 5 to 9 and respect you the same way? Because our titles don't make us who we are. They don't. I am Senior Director of Community Engagement for Workforce Central. Do I ever introduce myself that way? No, because I'm Tamar. I'm Tamar. And when I talk to Phyllis, I talk to Phyllis. Or I talk to Rob or Kelly or Sandra, Carissa as you. Because that's the highest respect that I can give you, is talk to you as the individual that you are, not the title that you are. Your title don't make nothing. I've always told people, we come together in this group so we can build our dreams on their dollars. elevate and levitate what they're able to give us, because that's what our organization is there for. Our organization is to support the dreams that they may not be thinking about. But we have those dreams. We have a unit that continue to pull those dreams together. And they're willing to support them because they didn't see them, we did. Allow them to continue to support what it is that means the most to you. Phyllis, you said it. I just want to know and educate myself better enough that when I'm talking to somebody, I'm educated and I'm taking what I've learned to share with the world. Corsmo supports that. They said, damn it, Phyllis, go show the world. That's what they say. Our organizations are just a little bit of who we are. This group, this space, who all we're looking at, that's why it was so incredible to see all your faces, because every one of you are a piece of me. And I hope that I'm giving a piece of myself to you, because you get to hold me accountable. You could sit and ask me, did I show up? But you know what? I know that it comes from love. And so I don't get upset. I just try to course correct and say, you know what? I'm gonna show up better next time, because I'm only human. We have to think about who we are as people. I'm honored and I'm blessed because I do have a tribe. I do have a circle. Shellie had asked what my seed was, and I'll share it with the rest of you. My seed that I need to plant, but I need to break through the grounds of trust. Not everyone I can trust. Not everyone is there for me. My partner asked me last year, you need to figure out who's there for you and who is there for you. And I had to find that. I had to understand it. It threw me off for a minute. I'm like, everybody's there for me. I was so arrogant, I didn't get what she was saying. She was saying, if everybody's there for you, then you're draining yourself. Who's there for you to lift you up when you don't have that energy no more? That's who needs to be close to tomorrow. So breaking that ground of trust so I can plant the seed of intimacy and build those relationships, those personal responses to each other. And when I'm called, I know that they're going through something, and that's why they picked up the phone, and now they're holding me accountable to show up for them. That's my move. I appreciate every last one of you guys. Again, when you ask about the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force, this is a community of people. This is a community built for the people. And we leverage our resources, as Shellie would say, our gardening tools, which is our leadership, our organizations, our fundings, our ideas, so they flourish and we can grow a field of abundance and force multiply. We don't need to live off of scarcity no more. We need to give the dance, we need to give the music, we need to give the meal, because we can continuously over and over and over and again supply what everyone is asking for, because we are no longer empty and we have what it takes to pour into other people. That's who the community Pierce County or Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force is. I'm sorry, I got choked up a minute. I got a little emotional, I'm sorry. But we are better. We are not an organization that is an organization. We are an organization built for and by the people. And those people are us, and we're supporting our community with the best of ourselves. I appreciate every last one of you. 2-3 new me. We are going on to do incredible things. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you again. Thank you so much, Shellie, for your wisdom and your knowledge. You know what it is. You are just incredible. Thank you. Thank every one of you for being online with us, man. Big shout out to the PCC ETF. This is our year. Let's continue to grow personally, and let's bring that strength to each other. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. I look forward to seeing you again. Leaders, please stay on. Please stay on.